I'm Martin, Click to Heel Dog Training, and today we're going to talk about some heel work foundations for puppy course. We teach a couple of techniques for heel work, and one of them we're going to go on to teach in the essential life skills at the next stage after puppy class, which is about the dog staying within the proximity of the leads, so slow walks, allowing them to kind of sniff and stroll around. Okay, at some time you are going to want your dog to walk right by your side, whether you use this to get across the road, whether you use it as you're going past distractions, and this is what we call our kind of with me training. So this is the dog walking with you and focused. Obviously puppies, when they're outside early, exposure to outdoors, we're more interested in them looking at the environment. It's difficult for them to concentrate on lead work and be looking at you 100% of the time until they're relaxed and comfortable outside. This is a good kind of training thing to start inside where we have no distractions. So, stage one, we're going to teach follow the finger. Okay, so we place a treat inside our hand, make a fist, and we point our index finger. Okay, once we've got puppy's attention, you. Okay, we're just going to encourage them to follow the finger. You. The reason for putting the food inside the fist and getting them to follow the finger is so that the food isn't exposed to the puppy, so he's not just trying to go along and bite your hand. Try and keep your finger ahead of the puppy to avoid that. You. Allow the puppy, once you've said your marker word, remember you need a pause. You. And then open your hand. Try and feed the puppy for forward movement. If you're getting jumping, yip, try not to mark it, yip. And so they're happy following the right hand, yip, and your left hand, yip, yip, yip. And we can also do change of hands. So follow this, change, follow this. Yep. Treat party. Okay, so that's a nice kind of movement-based exercise that we can kind of have fun with the puppy, and we can build up into some of our kind of movement-based kind of tricks that we'll show you later on in puppy class. But for now, we're also going to use it as a concept for teaching them to come round to our side in stage 2. Stage 2, we're going to start bringing them round to our side, either left side or right side or both. Although if you are going to train both, you need each side on a different cue word, especially if you want the dog responding to verbal cues. Okay, so we start with the dog in front of us, okay, and we call this the kind of D shape, only because I'm going to draw a big capital D. So if you imagine there's a straight line down here and the curve of the capital D is coming out. So I've got food in my hand, I point my finger, get puppy following it all the way around behind me, turn, yip, and feed. As I'm feeding, so as my hand's going round, okay, I turn, my knuckles come forward to keep the puppy straight. When I click and mark the behaviour with his magic word, which is YIP, yip, I won't say it because I need to feed the puppy each time I do it, and I need to concentrate on what the puppy's doing when I say it. But as I come round, knuckles come forward. When I say the magic word, I make my hand into a bowl shape. So that's what it looks like, that way round, so that the puppy is licking the food out of my hand and not using his teeth on my fingers. Okay, so it will be that way round. Okay, let's see that again. So we follow the finger all the way round. We turn our hand once puppy's with us, so knuckles forward, yip, and feed in the bowl hand. Because I'm using a marker, treat party. Okay, just give him some treats to keep him amused for a minute. Because I'm using a marker, so my YIP says to the dog, that's correct, and I feed the dog, it also ends the behaviour. So we're not putting any duration into our heel work, which comes at stage 3. Okay, so stage 3, we're going to work on a little bit of duration in position. When we're working on duration, we're not going to mark a behaviour as correct. So we're not going to use the magic word, but we do need to tell the dog when the exercise is finished. I have 7 treats in my hand. Okay, when puppy's finished his little mini treat party, keep him nice and calm there. We're going to go out around the D, following the finger. We're going to come round behind us, into position, Hand up above the head to get the sit and feed. Take your hand away, come back and feed. Hand away, come back and feed. Hand away, come back and feed. Tell him it's ended. Break! Yep. Good baby. Good puppy. So, when we say treat potty, the break cue tells him that it's ended the behaviour. Remember, your pauses are key. So at this early stage, I'm just feeding, lifting my hand. If the puppy stays in position, I'm feeding, lifting my hand, feeding. My hand is at the highest point when I say break, okay? He knows his break cue, so if you see on the video, he then moved. And I can mark this behaviour in early stages of training. Treat potty. Okay, to make sure that he's learning that break means that he can move. Okay, slowly we're going to build this up. Obviously I'm sat down on a chair at the minute, okay, and with even smaller puppies I might be sat on the floor. I'm obviously going to build this to a standing picture. And I can build in pop-ups. At this stage, if he goes wrong, just don't worry about it, bring him back round, don't let him know he's wrong, okay, we want to keep him motivated by training. Remember his very early stages of learning. Pop-ups. So again, only got one treat left. So just bring him round again. Break! Yep. Yeah, treat buddy. Okay, also I'm never running out of food in my hand. What we don't want the dog to learn is when my hand is empty, I'm going to say break. They're going to spot any patterns in your training that you use. So try and retain at least a piece of food so that they never know when the break is coming. Over time, we're going to increase all these pauses. Okay, and let's have a look at the exercise and how to do that. Okay, let's look at the same exercise just standing up. So starting with puppy anywhere kind of in front, follow the finger round, turn, get the turn, into the sit, try and feed them as straight as possible. And then when you're ready, break! Yeah, that was a little bit too early, wasn't it? Ready, shall we try again? Right round behind, bring the hand up to get the sit, feed in that position. Good baby. Okay. Okay, and our next stage would be to move on once we've done some more foundation work on this, so just doing a little bit of walking by our side. Okay, just look at puppy doing a little bit of follow the finger on the move. Okay, again, my finger's been quite low all this time. Over time, yep. Good. Just going to pop one on the floor, keep his feet on the floor. Okay, bringing him round that D, just walking forward. Yep. Okay, we can get rid of the jumping later. Just put some food on the floor just to keep him nice and calm, particularly because he's quite a lively little chap. So bring the round behind, walk forward. Yep. Good. Well done, baby. Okay. I think he's just a little bit reluctant to go behind sometimes because obviously in this small environment we've got a kind of cupboard here, so it's making a kind of narrow opening for him. Let's try it a little bit further down this way. Up-ups. Up-ups. Yep. Okay, because again I've gone on to marking the behaviour, just trying to do a couple of steps to give him the idea, then the marker ends the exercise. Okay, food on the floor just to lower arousal in his case. Okay, we'll work on this jumping later. Yep, you can see probably in the video that sometimes when he jumps I'm just slightly raising my hand. Yep, so that he understands that the food will disappear. Good boy. Treat party. So he sees that the food will disappear, okay, and my hand will come up higher. Timing's got to be crucial for that, so it's as the dog jumps, the hand kind of lifts up a bit and then set your hand back in place. The jumping's just, you know, at this early stage, we've got food in our hand, okay, and they're just quite excited about the food being up above them, okay. Different hand heights will help. Obviously, I'm trying to keep it low where I did it following round on a chair. Ideally, when I'm standing up, I want to try and get my hand at such a height that he'll begin to just follow around. And what I might do is go through those stages that we've just talked about before, just standing up and just having my finger a little bit higher. So I'm just changing kind of one criteria at a time, and my expectations aren't too high. Stage, we're not going to be adding a verbal cue to the behaviour because we've still got some little bits we want to tidy up, so the bouncing around into position. So ideally we're going to add the verbal cue on once we're kind of happy with the behaviour, so that we're naming everything that we're happy with and not anything that may be happening that we're not, you know, particularly happy about along the way. Okay, we're going to have a little go at shaping, okay, the D position. So what I want to do over time is not be drawing the whole D all of the dog's life to kind of bring them round and be following the finger all the time. We want the dog to understand the position by our leg. So what we're going to do is kind of try and encourage the dog, maybe by using a slightly, you know, looking at the area where we want him to go. We're going to use a little bit of the finger. Come on, little wiggly finger, can you begin to move round to this position? What we're looking for the dog to do is make an effort to go from the front of us and begin to kind of follow that D shape around. Okay, we're going to mark any movement that he makes towards the D, and then we're going to come in and help him after we've marked it, but feed him in the final position to encourage him to be going to that location. So, pop, 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 pops. Good, baby. Okay, shall we have a go? So, got some food in my hand. I'm just going to show him I've got some food in the hand. I'm going to point my finger here, yep, and look where I want him to go. Feed him in the final position. I'm going to throw one forward so it enables me to start again. Just bring him back into focus. Look in this area. Yep. You can see he's beginning just to move round. Get that turning. Good boy. Okay. So when I mark, ideally, so I'm showing my body round. Yep. Before my finger comes in. Remember that pause is absolutely key. We're trying to get the dog listening to you over time and not just reading and watching your body language. Okay, so we're going to show him the signal, yep, and then we come in to help a bit more. Good boy, throw one forward. Okay, let's just do one more. Pop-ups. Good boy, steady. Good. Round this way, yep, and you can just see he's gone a little bit further each time. Well done. The end of our training session, try and use an end of cue. My one that I use with mine is whoosh. I show them a hand signal and then I disengage from the dog to tell them that's it, session finished. Okay, something that might make more sense to you, because I do use some random words, is all done, game over, training over, enough, whatever words that you'd like to put to it. And that's really helpful then to kind of switch the dog off, especially if you're early stages of training, you're doing a little bit of training indoors. Okay, you want the dog to know when the training is finished. Does help as well, maybe too, we saw had a bed down here and a little kind of snake that he was chewing on. Okay, so if your dog finds it difficult after the training session to shut down, then give them a stuffed Kong or a snuffle mat or something food related just to act as a calmer. Thank you very much for watching.